Welcome back on this Thursday. Dustin Schutte with me as always, and joined by newly committed four-star wide receiver Omar Cooper to Indiana. Omar, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Cannot complain. Dustin Schutte with us here as well. We've been talking about a lot of things this morning, but your commitment, one of those, that's a big get for Tom Allen. It'd be a big get for anybody, but it really puts a nice feather in the offensive cap of Indiana. I mean, you're one of those pieces that I saw one of the Rivals guys said that you make catches that other receivers just can't make. How important was it to you to get this commitment out of the way, first of all?
It was very important just to relieve some stress because the recruiting process can be very fun, but at the same time, it can get very stressful just not knowing where you want to go and how, and when you have a lot of options. So committing just makes everything better and easier.
Well, I'm gonna get. Was your mom a big movie fan? Is your middle name Sharif?
Nah, my dad, he got his name after his mom named him that, so I just got my name after him.
That guy was a famous actor, I believe, Omar Sharif. So that's why I asked that. I just happened to see that, but very cool. It's actually very cool. Coming to Indiana, staying in state. You know, a lot of guys you play with. We're talking about Caden Curry earlier, and you guys are trying to get on him. But staying in state and helping build the in-state program, I've seen what they've seen. How important is that to you to be a part of that?
It's very important, just because it's just the state I was born in, and we weren't really. We were claimed a basketball state or basketball school, and to see that we would be able to turn the school program around in football, it'd help attract way more people and make the state of Indiana football team better.
Omar, you had plenty of offers from Power 5 programs, from a lot of Big Ten schools. To you, what set Indiana apart? What made you say that you wanted to come to Indiana and continue to build on the momentum that Tom Allen has created these past 4 seasons?
Just the fact that it's home, and I like my quarterback Donovan. He went there, and he was a big help. He talked to me all the time about coming here and about it. And then I have another one of my closest friends since I was little, CJ Gunn. He's committed there for basketball, and we're really close. And he was telling me same thing, and we could like be together, roommates, and all that. So everything felt like it was the right place to choose.
So, are you going to roommate with CJ?
Yes, that's what we've been talking about it, and I talked to Coach Allen and all. He said that's okay as long as it's on campus for the first year. So we gonna try to.
That's pretty cool. Now you guys have a connection too, though, because you play basketball as well, right?
Yes.
Now, did you miss last year because of injury?
Yes, I did.
Are you back this year? Are you gonna?
I will be. I'm still recovering right now, but
CJ's gonna need the help, man.
Yeah, we will. He will, but. We should be good because we trying to get this one dude that I've always been really close with. That's like a top 25 in the nation player.
Now you played in a state championship basketball game last year. Now you didn't get to play; you were hurt, but the team was there, and I know you didn't get to play. But getting to that level, getting to those stages, being around that and a part of that, how does that help you? What do you learn? What do you see when you get to those places?
It just helps you, like, folks. It just helps you out. Notice how hard you got to work to just be able to get there. It ain't just gonna be easy. Every game's not gonna be just a easy game. You just got to work hard no matter what. Because some teams that aren't supposed to be good can just have a great game, and it won't be good for you.
Omar, a lot of recruiting analysts have a lot of high praise for you. A lot of compliments, and you're one of the top receivers in your class. What do you like about Indiana's offensive scheme? What have you seen, and how do you think you can help the program? What skill set do you bring that you think is going to help best help the program and help you? What skill do you bring to the program?
Just being able to, like Coach Hurd, he said how he likes how I just can attack the ball and catch this with my hands, and just how I go get the ball. And he likes what I do after the ball. So after I catch it, so I feel like my skills just after the ball and before I get it, just I can jump and get the ball over a defender, but I can also take the top off a defender by outspeeding them or something.
You know, seeing all the guys that were transferring in from USC, from Texas A&M, from Auburn, wherever all they were coming from, I'm sure you see that stuff on Twitter. Does that play a role? Do you see that, man, these guys are coming from everywhere coming in here? And of course, Delon McCullough coming in from the Chiefs. Does all that play a part in your decision-making?
Yes, that just shows that people are actually believing in Tom Allen and what he's doing with the team. So if other people believe it, then that means I definitely can believe in it.
And we hear a lot about LEO, and Indiana kind of went viral, if you'll say. They were the Cinderella, the darling of the college football season last year, going toe-to-toe with Ohio State, winning the way they did against Penn State and Michigan. I'm curious to know, how important was that culture at Indiana in making your decision?
It was actually a big one, because when I went on campus for the official visit, just hearing what all the players were saying, how they actually Leo actually is, and how it actually is for real. And then Tywan Mullen, his mom and his brother, they was on the visit the same time as I was, and how his mom was just reacting and saying how great of a coach he was, and how they did her son, how he treated her son so good. And that it helped a whole lot for me.
Tywan Mullen.
I was going to say, I've heard that Tywan Mullen might be the best recruiter in Bloomington right now. So it just validates when you say that you're getting advice from them that he believes in this. He was very confident. I remember when he was recruited as a freshman, before he even stepped on campus, he guaranteed Indiana would be a top 25 team. And I think by week 8 or week 9, the Hoosiers were number 24, snapped that Associated Press drought. And so it just kind of validates that Tywan Mullen and a lot of those guys in that locker room believe it's not just Tom Allen selling a used car. He believes, and his players believe in him.
Yes.
Having guys like that, he's a great one to talk about, because I remember talking to him when he first arrived, and that's exactly how he was. He was the most quiet, confident guy, but being around successful people like that has been here for 3 years, how important is that to you? I know he's on the defensive side, but it doesn't matter when it comes to the mental aspect of moving from high school to college. It's a level up. You're the best guy on the team right now, probably, but you're going to a team that's full of guys that were the best on their team, and that competition. How forward do you look to being not just the guy, or trying to get back to being the guy that you are right now at the high school level, in the collegiate level?
I'm very excited to try to do that, because I'm always ready for competition and happy to do it, because I love competing, and I've always done it my whole life, because I've been a sports family, because everybody in my family went to college. So I've always been into competing, and it's just always been something I like to do, especially because my mom and dad went. So I always want to one-up them and get further than what they did and do better what they did.
Where did they go to school?
My mom, she played basketball at Michigan State, and my dad played basketball at Louisiana Tech.
So it wasn't Michigan State's okay. It's not. I just thought you were going to say something else, but that's okay. No, I'm kidding. The IU offense has got to be something that makes you salivate, because it's an offense that gets everyone involved. It doesn't matter if you're a running back, if you're a wide out, if you're a tight end, if whatever position you are. there's an opportunity for you to get the ball in your hands. And as a receiver, Indiana has shown over the years, they will throw the ball, and you've got a Michael Penix amongst others right now back there. So that's got to be something exciting to look forward to.
Yes, it definitely is. Just watching a lot of the games this year, I liked how they was just spreading the ball, and if a player was on fire, they wouldn't just not give it to him. They always find a way to just get him the ball in his hands. Running back, receiver, anybody who was doing good, they'd try to make a play where it just goes to him.
Omar, recently we've seen some guys who excelled at the wide receiver position at Indiana, guys like Simi Cobbs, Nick Westbrook, Walt Phillier, and Ty Freifogel recently last season. How much did their success kind of play a role in your decision-making?
I actually played a pretty big one because knowing that other receivers have been able to be successful in this offense, it shows that anybody can be successful if you just are willing to go and put the work in. So that helped me a lot, just picking my decision too.
And Indiana, a lot of guys, of course, are always looking at the future, wanting to get to the next level. Indiana is a school that you can do that. They're on TV all the time, and their recent elevation as one of the challengers to Ohio State in the Big Ten East. That has not always been the case, and now it is a reality where Indiana is, to me, they're along with Penn State, they are the only two challengers in the Big Ten East against Ohio State. But yet to open against, go to places like Iowa. Thoughts of playing in those stadiums at Penn State, in the Big House, in Iowa City. That has to be just exhilarating.
Yes, it is. I can't wait to be on to just get college experience and all the fans just being able to be in that big of a stadium and playing or just being a part of the team.
What's the biggest adjustment you think you're going to have to make once you get here from a football standpoint? Like I said earlier, you're probably the best player on your team right now, but you're coming that when you go to Division I sport, you're usually one of everybody who is the best player on their team. You got to continue to work hard to stand out, to get to that level. But what are you looking forward to getting here?
The biggest thing that's probably going to be different is just knowing that I'm not going to be the best player like I was in high school, and knowing that everybody else that's there, they're there for a reason. So they was really good in high school or one of the best in the state. So I just know it ain't no easy road no more. You just gotta always work hard and compete. And then what was the second question again?
I don't even remember. Yeah, that one was good enough actually. But I was just gonna say, how do you? What is it? Are there guys that you've watched that at Indiana said, man, I really like what he did or how he performed? Any former receivers who do you model as a receiver? You really can't model your game per se, but who are some of the guys that you like to emulate or just like their game?
I'm a really big Julio fan. That's why I wear number 11. So I've been watching a lot of Julio, and then Devontae Adams and Stephon Diggs, really. I've been really trying to watch their games and see what they do, what helps them a lot. Yeah, and also I watch a little bit of Chad Ochocinco, just because he's just a funny dude, and I just like everything about him.
Well, you missed Walt Phillier, so you'll miss that connection, unfortunately for you, because you would have got to be around a guy who brought a Chucky doll on one of the football trips last year. And I'm not kidding. I think it was at Nebraska where they came out with a Chucky doll he was carrying. But go ahead, Dustin.
Well, I was going to ask, last season, Indiana's defense was kind of a big talking point. They had a lot of interceptions. They led the Big Ten. They were one of the best defensive units in the conference. And so I'm curious, is that something you look at, knowing that as a receiver, you're going to go to a program that puts a heavy emphasis on the secondary? So not only have you seen success at the wide receiver position, but when you're going up against practice, when you go one-on-one, you're going to go up against some of the best in the Big Ten.
Yeah, that's just not doing nothing but just making. That's just not gonna do nothing but just make me better. Just knowing that I'm be going against some of the best secondary in the college level. It'll just help me get better every day, and it'll make me uh it'll make me be able to just be relaxed when it comes to game day. Because knowing how to win against the best secondary, one of the best secondary in college football the whole week, it'll just make everything a little bit easier.
And the receiving DB game has changed. I mean, I was a wide receiver DB in high school, but back then it was, give the space and this and that. Now it's a whole different game. It's in your face the whole time. The receiver is as much of a defender as the defender is much of a receiver. Seriously, it is a battle of who can get position and outwork the other. And it has become very artistic, I guess. If you're not familiar with the position, it is. I know that the cuts have to be sharp, the passes have to be on, and even if all that works, you still have to make the catch. Although I am going to say this, I'm going to bust you all out, man. And I wish I could find that damn glove. I've got one of those. Here it is. This is a used one from last year. One of those receivers gloves that you guys get to use. I want to know how in the hell. I wish my coffee was empty. You all drop anything with these gloves.
Man.
I've only got one of them, but I think that there is nothing that could get by me right now that if you threw me, even with one hand, this thing hits and it's like, no wonder those guys make one-handed catches. I don't have big enough hands for that. But I'm like, I didn't have this when I was in school, man. This is like a game changer.
It is.
I mean, so yeah, it's changed. The game has changed. But wow, how important is technology to the game to making superstars spectacular plays?
It's very important. It just makes it. Just the technology and all the stuff, new stuff that they're able to do, it just makes everything better. It just makes the game. It just makes the game more fun. Just being able to do stuff with more technology and find out new creations and do different things that people have never seen or been able to do before.
Now, all the guys are in video games. Sorry, Dustin.
Okay.
Are you playing with any of the guys that are on IU's team now? Of course, some of your teammates are on there. Are you guys? I know the basketball guys are big into that. Do you guys into that as well?
Yes, definitely. I play Donovan a lot in 2K and Madden. I beat him pretty much all the time, but we still always play the game and stuff.
And go ahead.
Oh, Omar, I was gonna backtrack just a little bit here back to your recruitment decision. You mentioned, kind of growing up, Indiana was always known as a basketball school. The state was known as a basketball state. So I'm curious to know when Indiana, as a football option for you, kind of came on the radar. When did you start considering it? Was it when they offered, or had it been before that?
It was when they offered. Because when they offered, it was like, I want to say like the fifth school that offered. And it was like the second. They offered me. It was the second Big Ten school that offered me after Purdue. So it was one of my top schools. It was one of my favorite schools already, just because it was one of the first big schools that came after me and offered me and started recruiting me.
All right, let me ask that question. How important is it to someone who someone makes the first offer, someone makes the second offer? How much does it matter to you who makes the first offer? If a gigantic school, what if Alabama came in the ninth hour? That's going to obviously play a part in anyone's decision making, but but keep Alabama's out. Does whoever comes first, does that play into your thinking?
It depends because a school can be the first to offer you and then not really talk to you. But then they could be a school that first offers you and then talk to you a whole lot. So it just depends on if the school talks to you really a lot or if they don't.
What's coming up next for you? You've got to now, after all this talking, wait an entire year before you go through with this. You got another high school season, but enjoy your high school senior season, because let me tell you, it comes and goes fast, man. It comes and goes fast.
Yeah.
Your time at Indiana will come and go fast. As hard as it is to believe, and I'm sure you got 1,000 people telling you the same thing, because I did as well, and I didn't listen either. It does. It's mind-boggling, but enjoy your senior year. What are you looking forward to most of the upcoming high school season?
Just being able to go out there and compete with my boys one more time and just having fun at this point. I got college and all that out the way, so I got to stress about it that much no more. So now it's all about just going out there and having fun and giving your best.
Talk about your position coach.
Well, we have two of them. One of them's my dad. So, that's what it is. And then the other
How's
one,
that? What's that like? I know what it would have been like for me, which is not good. But how's that been like? Your dad played college sports. He played Division I sports. It doesn't matter that it was the different sport. It's of being under that microscope, that level of what you have to give at that next level. I think that's something else people don't understand. Everything is ramped up. What you have to give, how hard the work is, how hard the fight is, how much you have to compete. Everything gets ramped up. And I don't know that people understand that also goes to the mental side of things. You're not going to have your dad there, which has probably been a comfort and a curse at the same time. And I get that. But he won't. What's that going to be like to have been around him like and not have him there?
on the field, we bump heads a lot. But it's just how things is. And but just after the field, when we off the field, we get on really well. That's like my best friend, really. And just him going D1 and playing college sports, he tells me a whole lot, and how it's just like because he already been through it, so he know more than I do. So I just try to take in whatever he tell me to try to make me better for my future, and it really.
Well, man, I wish you the best. Dustin, you got anything?
No, it's I'm looking forward to seeing you in the Big Ten, and good luck with your senior season, and we'll see you in 2022 when you're suiting up for the Hoosiers.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll see him for some games.
I have one funny story if I have time.
Oh, please tell all the funny stories you have.
Well, most people don't know this, but my ever since I was little, since freshman year, I played quarterback my whole life. And then I got to LN, and Donovan was there. He played quarterback, and he was big on offers and all that. And so I was very athletic. And then so my sophomore year, my coach said, you can either compete against Donovan and try to win a starting spot, or you can move the receiver and see if that helps a lot. And I just knew I couldn't compete with Donovan at quarterback, so I had switched to receiver. And sophomore year was my first year ever playing receiver in high school.
It's amazing how things change when you take a path that you didn't expect to take. I did not know that. That's a great story, and thank you for sharing. Now, that happens in college a lot, and as a matter of fact, Reese Taylor is a perfect example of that at IU right now, who was a great quarterback in high school, but came to IU at the same time with Michael Penix and a lot of other guys. And it's not that he's not a great quarterback. It's just that Michael Penix was born with this surgically implanted laser in his shoulder. and I mean, what's it been like to see him throw? I mean,
Michael Penix?
Yeah.
It's actually he throw very well. He throw kind of weird to me because it's very different. But it's like he throws, like how he throws is just different, but it gets there. And he has one of the best arms I've seen in a while. So
I assume you've not gotten to catch any passes from him since he's
Nah.
been hurt, and there's no crossover there. I think it would in rule violation, but just watching him, yeah. Well, let me tell you, have you seen him in person?
No, not yet. I have not.
Well, TV does not do it justice. I can tell you that. That's the weirdest thing because it's like, wow, where is that coming from? It's like RoboCop. It's like he hits a button. It's weird, man. He's just got a laser on that thing. And but yeah, looking forward to it, brother. Looking forward to thank you. Looking forward to it. Thank you for taking the time. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. Omar Cooper, Indiana's latest commitment on the football side, 4-star from Lawrence North High School in Indianapolis.